What's your I do not want to be discussing this topic anytime soon. Hi guys, so today's video I'm finally going to address what happened with my employment. If you've watched my previous video on staying positive throughout coronavirus, I mentioned in the video that I had a bit of trouble with my work and I was affected by the coronavirus, but I did say I didn't want to talk about it until everything's been resolved and until I actually know what's going on in my life. Talk about it right now. It hurts. If you were in a similar situation to me, then I'm going to be discussing things that you can do to kind of enhance your employment opportunities. Just a disclaimer, I'm not mentioning any of the companies I worked for just because of the type of work I do. So around February, I worked in the finance sector and I was happy, but I wasn't content. The reason I say that is because it was a job, it was paying me, but I just didn't really think I was that good at the job. I kind of felt that I needed to move on. So round about February time, I was approached on LinkedIn by one of my great lecturers at uni, and she recommended this I go for this job. Now it was for a marketing executive role and it was for a wealth management firm, so this looked good. I applied not really thinking anything of it. Little did I know that was going to be the start of my ride to hell. I applied for the job, I got a telephone interview I believe, and then I had to do quite a few interviews to get the job. So long story short, I got the job. In my current job at the time, I handed in my notice, I told my manager, and I was all set to leave. The new job, the salary was a bit higher, it was a city job, so I was going to join the 9-to-5 commute, and to be honest, I was a little bit excited. I wanted to get back into kind of the London life. I wanted to go to pubs after work, and I wanted to live that life now. I thought I was ready. Coming towards probably the last 2 weeks of my notice at the job I was at the time, we started hearing about the whole lockdown and coronavirus, and at the time it's not something that you really took that seriously. So for me, I kind of just ignored it, but something in my mind was telling me, like, don't go through with this, like, just retract your notice. As a side note as well, because I was on a notice, that month that I was on a notice, we were due to get a bonus, and my bonus, I'm not gonna lie, was great. And in the last week of my notice, I realised that anybody on a notice period during the time of it being paid out wasn't gonna get that bonus. So I was completely devastated because, you know, this is for the previous year that I'd worked so hard for, but because I was obviously getting this new job, I just thought, let me not be negative, let me stay positive, and let me just try and focus on the new job and just take my L's. I ended up leaving the company just as I think everything started coming to light with what was going on with the COVID-19. This was end of March, so this is when people started working from home, people were making alternative arrangements. In the last week of my notice also, my new job had emailed me through everything, emailed me all the training, and I got emailed that, I know you're probably worrying about what's going to happen due to the coronavirus and whatnot. Don't worry, you'll still be on a full salary as we are aware, and everything will be fine, so don't worry about that. So that gave me the reassurance that I needed, and for me that was all I needed. I just needed to know that I wasn't going to get left from this job, and they told me that. So I went ahead and left my job, and I was supposed to have a 2-week break in between leaving my old job and starting my new job. That's when restaurants, pubs, gyms, everything was closed, and I was like, this is a bit depressing. If you know me well, you know I don't take holidays. I never take holidays off at work. I take like the odd day. Like, I can't go and buy things for work. I can't really, do anything. So I just thought, let me just use this time to chill out. Everything will be fine. Yeah, I remember 8th of April, it was about 4 o'clock. I got a call and instantly I just knew it was bad. Like, when you can just have this gut feeling and you just know it was bad. You just know. I just knew, like, to the point I wasn't going to pick it up. It was my manager to be, so the manager from the new job. And long story short, she basically told me that they've reviewed their company, and because I haven't physically started, even though my contracts was signed, even though everything was signed in their terms and conditions, I wasn't covered to be paid, and they basically couldn't afford my role anymore, and so they had to let me go. For me, my employment and my career history is something that I have put at the forefront of my mind since I was 15 years old. When she told me that, I had no idea what to do. Like, none whatsoever. This is coming from me. Like, I do YouTube videos every week on, what to do and where to go and where to get information. I genuinely had no idea what to do. I was panicking because I had bills to pay. I'd sorted out all my finances to the point where I was like, everything's just gonna cross over smoothly. I'd get paid from my old job, then I'd get paid in my new job, so I wasn't gonna miss out on any money. I'd lost this massive bonus. I was so flabbergasted. I was feeling embarrassed, like DeeTalks, unemployed. Like, I put posts out on LinkedIn like that very same day, like, this is what's happened, any employers, please help me. I've blasted my CV out all over LinkedIn. Out of a state of panic, I remember just going on Indeed and just sending my CV to about 40 or 50 like supermarket jobs. Not even reading the area or the salary or anything, just because I needed to know that I was going to be employed at some point. I actually ended up contacting my employer that I left. I messaged my manager and I was just like, look, this is the situation. I don't even know what to say to you right now, because this is so embarrassing that I even have to text you. Bearing in mind, when I was leaving, I was happy to be leaving. It wasn't a thing where I was sad. Like, I was like, I want to go. Like, I'm ready. Like, see you later. Like, bye. In my head, it was like, it's never going to happen. Like, there's no chance, especially with the type of job I have. To get the job, it takes about 2 months for all your paperwork to go through, which is why when you're in your notice period, they give you the opportunity to retract, because once you leave, everything gets wiped. So it's like, to rehire you is so difficult. To cut a very long and tedious story short, I spent 2 months, or a month and a half I'd say, back and forward, double texting, sending follow-up emails, hoping and praying just that I get this job back. My manager would tell me things like, he'd text me things like, it's not something that we've ever done before, or like, well, we'll see what we can do. And it was like, nothing was positive at the time, so it was just making me more nervous and anxious, and my whole mind was all over the place. And because of obviously everything getting progressively worse with the global pandemic, my mental state, everything was just deteriorating, because I didn't know what to do. Like, I didn't know if I should keep looking for jobs, or if I should just put all my eggs into this basket of me getting my old job back. And I can honestly say, for about a good 4 or 5 days, I did not move out of my bed. Like, after I had the initial shock and panic and I'd emailed everyone, I kind of just switched off completely from everything and everyone. It wasn't until my partner, shout at you, literally G-checked me, like, on a real, basically. He called me and he said, look, like, I know this is going on with you, but you're not the only one. Like, you've got people losing jobs left, right and centre. Pick yourself up, do things that you need to do and get on with it, basically. And it was a wake-up call, I'm not gonna lie. Like, I was like, you never speak to me like that. Like, ouch. But it was needed. So I'm always and forever grateful that he did that, because I feel like if he didn't, I would still be in my bed moping around, and I wouldn't have got up and started all the projects and things that I did. So thank you. Because there was so little staff, it wasn't a case of I email, I get it back. It was, I email on Wednesday, the following Wednesday I'll get a reply. I'll reply that same Wednesday, the following Wednesday I'll get a reply. So something that probably would have taken like, I don't know, 4 weeks, took double the time. The long and short of it is, I did get my old job back in the end. like now going into it, I have a completely different mindset about it. I go in there to do my job. I'm so grateful for the fact that I've even worked for this company, that they were able to support me like this. So that's my story. That's what happened to me. And I know that I am not the only one. I've seen so many people lose internships, jobs, graduate schemes, placements, all due to the coronavirus. And it's been devastating to watch, because for you to get to that point of your life and it be ripped away, it feels like everything you've done is for nothing. Trust me, I understand. For you guys that are currently unemployed or have lost your job, I just want to give you a couple of tips on what you can be doing in this time to actually help you to get employed. My number one tip, is sort your CV out. This is my most popular video on YouTube, so do check it out. It's obviously worth a watch if I'm getting views. So second tip I've got for you guys, sort your LinkedIn profile out. Get it to all-star level. Again, I have another video all on LinkedIn. Again, really great videos, so watch that if you're not sure how to even set up a profile or what that is. So instead of always going on Indeed and job sites, you're actually able to interact with hiring managers. It's like Facebook, but on an employable level. Don't be afraid to reach out to employers directly. During a time like this, everybody's so busy and everybody's adapting to such a different way of life that some people do need staff, but they haven't actually advertised it or let anybody know about it. You walking in and going, hey, do you need a hand or do you need any help, might just be their blessing. Third thing I want to touch on is training yourselves on basic, intermediate and advanced IT skills. I highly doubt that working life is going to go back to normal again. The majority of jobs that you will see online will now be kind of working from home jobs. So really just brush up on your IT skills. The main things being Outlook, Excel, and try and learn to use things like Zoom, Skype, set up some accounts for that. Everything that will prepare you for working from home. Look at free or very cheap courses that you can do, qualifications that you can obtain online that will help you with your chosen career path. If you are somebody that owns their own business, make sure that you've got the relevant qualifications to be able to work under the COVID-19 guidelines. Last tip I have for you guys is to volunteer. Interviews and the way you're going to get jobs in the near future is going to change drastically, and the coronavirus is going to be a huge part of testing your resilience, testing your ability to work under pressure. Do humane volunteering, because there's going to be a lot of different interview questions that are going to be revolved around kind of what have you done in the time of the global pandemic. And the last thing you want to do is say, I sat in my bed and cried because I didn't have a job. You want to say, well, even though I was unemployed, even though I wasn't able to work for whatever reason, I did this. This is all going to help you to build up your CV, which is the main thing. Yeah, guys, that's a bit about me. That's my story, and I hope you take something away from this, and I will see you when I see you guys.